Lesson 9, Unit 2. Contract Planning. Your first duty as a project manager is to review the project contract and become familiar with the most important clauses or contract obligations. These include the start and end of the contract, the final budget, the scope of work you will be responsible to deliver, and the requirements for reporting progress to the donor. Make sure your team is also aware of these major requirements. In your review of the contract, you might find that some information might not be accurate or is incomplete. For example, the time from the design until the project is authorized could have been many months, and in that time, some of the assumptions may have changed, especially on time and cost estimates. You need to see if there are changes in the target populations and changes in agreements with partners or other key stakeholders. If you find significant changes, you will need to discuss with management and find a way to make the modifications to the contract. Contract management begins the moment the organization receives approval to start the project. Once you're appointed as a project manager, you will need to review the contract and review all the documents presented in the proposal. These include the design, the logical framework, assumptions and risk, and any other information used to develop the proposal. You might need to contact the people that designed the project to get more information. If you identify the need for changes, then you need to document your justification, which will include information to support your request. In some cases, this process might require the intervention of the legal office or an attorney that provides services to the organization. Changes to the document may come as supplements or addendums that will become part of the contract. You also need to be familiar with all the compliance requirements of the contract, as well as any important regulations or legal obligations imposed by the local government that can affect the project. Your review should include ineligible costs, prior approvals for procurement of certain goods or services, changes in scope and obligations on reporting project progress. Your review should include the clauses, obligations, or requirements that you think may be difficult to meet in the current conditions of the project. This might include local laws that might limit certain type of activities or access to certain areas where the project works, or stringent reporting requirements. These should be documented as issues or risks. Use the following guidelines to manage the contract. Define roles and responsibilities for contract management. Establish regular communications with the donor or the financing agency. Ensure the project reports are submitted as required by the terms of the contract. You seek authorization of expenditures per donor guidelines, obtaining waivers, or document any special conditions. Additional guidelines include to maintain official agreement files, both electronic and hard copies, that document project performance in accordance with donor document retention requirements. Prepare agreement extensions or amendment requests. Manage the closeout, suspension, or termination of an award. Assure the agreement performance monitoring plans are implemented per donor requirements, and ensure that the project team members are properly trained in the compliance of the donor contract.